So I would say 80% of the time I go out to do photography, I bring some type of action camera with me, to get behind the scenes for these YouTube videos, to show behind the scenes on Instagram and other social media platforms. And this right here is my new favorite action camera, the Insta360 X5. Let's talk about it. So before we talk about why I'm loving this X5, I want to give some backstory on this video. Last summer, Insta360 reached out to me about talking about one of their other products, and I respectfully declined doing that video just because the product didn't fit my workflow, and I don't know, it just didn't seem like a good fit. But earlier this year, I picked up this camera right here, the Insta360 Go S, and absolutely loved it for behind the scenes for these YouTube videos. So I reached back out to them earlier this year and said, hey, I would love to finally work together talking about this camera, and they said, we got something better that we think you'll love, this Insta360 X5. And they were 100% right. So this video is sponsored by Insta360. If at any point in the video you want to learn more about the X5, you can just go to the link in the description down below and read up on it for yourself and pick one up if you think it's something that will fit into your workflow. Now there's two core reasons why this Insta360 X5 is my new favorite action camera. The first has to do with social media. Now I personally believe that photographers have an advantage on social media because we have the ability to go out and create our art, our pictures, what people know us for, and at the same time tell a story of what we're creating. So you can build a brand off your personality, off the behind the scenes of you going to create art. So every time you go out to shoot, you're essentially able to double dip. I believe so much in this concept that I actually made a free course about it titled The Photographer's Starting Point to Instagram Reels, and I used this strategy last year to grow my photography Instagram Evan Ran Photo from 0 followers to over 20k followers. In my opinion, short form video is the gateway to finding a new audience and leading people into your photography. Now for someone like me, the main issue I run into is managing all of this media. Let's say I go out to make a YouTube video where I'm sharing behind the scenes of my photography and I film everything in a landscape orientation with a traditional action camera. It might look great, but when I move that file over to an Instagram Reel or a TikTok, the footage typically looks not so great. My field of view is extremely limited because I'm cropping down a horizontal 16:9 to a vertical 16:9. With the Insta360, you have the ability to capture a 360 view of everything you're doing, meaning in post-processing using the Insta360 Studio app, you can easily change the orientation of your footage from 16:9 portrait to 16:9 landscape with ease, and you don't give up any resolution. And using the Insta360 Studio app, you can change the orientation of your footage to be wider or more narrow depending on what you need. And because this Insta360 X5 has 8K resolution, no matter how you crop the footage, you're not going to be giving up valuable resolution. Now it's important to remember with a 360 camera that 8K resolution is spread across the entire 360 view. So realistically, you're getting closer to a 4K resolution when you crop the footage down, but that's exactly what you want. If this only had a 4K field of view, when you would crop it to these certain parameters, you might run into resolution issues, but that is not the case with the X5. Now the second reason I love the Insta360 X5 as a photographer is because it's the perfect creative companion camera. Now, if you've ever gone out to make photography and thought to yourself, I want to capture some behind the scenes, but you're a little overwhelmed with the fact that you have to bring a camera for your photography and then a camera for video, set up the camera for video, set up your camera for photography. It's just a little bit of a nuisance. With the Insta360 X5, you have so many more options compared to just a traditional action camera when you're going out to film these behind the scenes. One of the most obvious use cases for this camera is simple vlog type footage. And on top of that, if you want to capture any audio, the Insta360 X5 has improved audio capture, and it really surprised me. Even when the X5 was out on the long selfie stick, the audio seemed very clear. Yo, do y'all have that one photography spot you always come to every time you're trying to learn something new? That's why this bridge is in so many YouTube videos. That is this spot for me. And because you have the camera out on that selfie stick, you can create a unique perspective that looks, in my opinion, so much better than you just holding up a camera talking to it. And the versatility of the X5 is something you can push quite a bit creatively. I was experimenting with putting the camera on the long selfie stick, having it out in front of me, and mimicking this first-person drone type look. I love the way it came out, and when you turn on Motion ND in the Insta360 Studio app, you get this nice motion blur replicating something that typically would take a drone to create. You also have the ability to use deep track in post, meaning you can lock on to certain points in your frame. So let's say you have the camera mounted to a magic arm and you're filming from a first-person point of view with the camera in front of you, you can lock on to that camera, so as you raise it and move it throughout the frame, you can follow your camera without having to implement keyframes or anything complicated. And if you have the camera on a magic arm, you can also turn the camera around and have it facing you and create a very unique POV shot of you using your camera. And if you're a little bit overwhelmed by using something like the Insta360 Studio app, you can use a new feature called Instaframe, which allows you to lock on to a certain part of the video, and you'll have a file exported that locks on to whatever subject you select. If you're in a situation where you're thinking, I don't want all this 360 view, I just want a quick video, you can use single frame mode, which allows you to use this essentially like a vlogging camera on the selfie stick, so you can grab a quick clip of yourself without having to process all the 360 footage. And even though it really freaked me out when I was testing it, you can take this camera and mount it to your car to create really cool, unique angles of you driving, things that typically would be very complicated to do with a large traditional video camera, you can do with ease when you're going out to make your photography and you're looking to tell more of a story. And all of that right there is the reason why I put action camera in quotes for the title on this video. Yes, this is technically an action camera, but it allows you to do so much more creatively. This is not just something that's designed for snowboarders or skydivers anymore. This is an all-in-one creative tool. And if you're someone who does use this for more extreme things and you're worried about breaking it, the Insta360 X5 has more durable glass on the fisheye style lens, and Insta360 has also given you the ability to replace the lens yourself, meaning if you are ever in a situation where you're rough with the camera and you break it, you can easily replace that lens on your own, saving you time and repair costs. Essentially, this camera is the best of both worlds. You have its traditional action camera type uses, but you also have a perfect companion camera that fits in your pocket and is at an affordable price. Now next month, I know I'm going to be traveling at least once, and I'm excited to bring this along as my main secondary camera to capture behind the scenes for these YouTube videos as well as my social media, and try to implement all the creative versatility that comes with the X5 into those videos as well. And one more thing about the X5 that unfortunately I wasn't able to test is the fact that this does have improved low light capabilities, so for someone like me who enjoys doing night photography, this should be great for capturing that behind the scenes. But if you want to check out my photography and see how I'm using this in the future, you can follow along at Evan Ramft, that's my main Instagram, or at Evan Ramft Photo on Instagram. If you enjoyed the video, do me a solid, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you are not yet, and big thank you to Insta360 for sending me this camera to test out. I'm excited to use it more, and big shout out to them for sponsoring today's video. I'll catch y'all in the next one.